YouTube and welcome in. I'm Dale, your local Polish cat, and today we are watching Why did Bob the Builder build the Berlin Wall? In a sequel, what happened to Bob the Builder after the USSR collapsed? Pure human schizophrenia, our favorite. Please enjoy it with us.
Why did Bob the Builder build the Berlin Wall?
Why did he?
Bob the Builder is perhaps known for completing some of the most controversial building projects of the modern era. Born in 1906 in a small English town, Bobbert would take up an interest in construction at a young age. As he
looks pretty old in this one, okay? I am so sorry, but he looks pretty old in this picture.
Dreamed of making foreman. While studying for his forklift exam as a teenager, Bob the Builder became radicalized by Marxist ideology that had crept its way into many general warehouse logistics manuals. Now a full-blown communist, Bob the Builder would end up defecting from Britain to Russia just before the Soviet Union was established at the 1922 Comic-Con.
It all happened because of Comic-Con. But does it mean that during the Comic-Con, Bob the Builder became the Comrade the Builder? It is what it is. It is what it is.
During the Second World War, Bob the Builder personally managed the production of the Soviet T-34, and his efficient production of the tank allowed for a critical victory for the Red Army at the Battle of Kursk. Rewarded for his efforts in World War II, Comrade Stalin gifted Bobbert control of the East German state-run construction company and was tasked with fixing the war-torn Germany. Bob the Builder started a propaganda campaign in Berlin, where he worked hard using taxes to fill the holes with cement, so that no one would curse the government.
No, that is a really big propaganda, okay? That's not something that would happen here. No. I would say that is what crosses the line. And filling the holes with cement, that's what crossing the line, guys. I am so highly sorry. That is the line I drew when it comes to people, okay? It is what it is.
Throughout the early 1960s, Bob began losing some of his best foremen to the capitalist West Berliners, who offered more competitive wages and dental insurance. Angered because he couldn't afford to give his workers dental, Bob the Builder began constructing a big beautiful wall around West Berlin to keep the capitalist pigs from poaching his laborers. The Berlin Wall escalated tensions between the USSR and the USA, and it would stand for almost another 30 years.
It is what it is. It is what it is. So from today, that is not Bob the Builder. That is our comrade Bob. Our comrade Bob. Hi though, are we learning history? Yes, we are learning history today, okay? But that is the part 1. Because when I saw this, I saw that there's always also a sequel to this. And the sequel to Why did Bob the Builder build the Berlin Wall is what happened to Bob the Builder after the USSR collapsed. And I am so highly sorry, but now I need to know what happened to our comrade Bob, okay?
In our top story, Soviet President Mikhail Gorbachev has been removed from power.
Breaking news! The Soviet Union has collapsed!
The nuclear threat, while far from gone, is receding. Eastern Europe is free. The Soviet Union itself is no more.
Yeah.
This is a victory for democracy and freedom. It's a victory for the moral force of our values.
Oh my god, the freaking comic blocks in the background. It feels like home.
In the immediate aftermath of the fall of the Berlin Wall, Comrade Bob the Builder traveled in secret around the rapidly declining Soviet Union for what would be the last time. One last sweep of the streets he used to rule. He visited the statue of Comrade Squidward, the pub where Lenin and the Wheatles first performed, and violated quarantine to see the ruins of Chernobyl. He knew that very soon his enemies and his allies would both be coming for him, As he stood at the site of the melted Chernobyl reactor core, next to a three-eyed chimpanzee named Paul, Bob had a profound thought that maybe communism wasn't about the destruction of classes or the abolition of private property. Maybe communism is about the friends we make along the way.
Why you fucking nodding at the chat at this? Why you're nodding? Oh my god. You can't say no. Oh.
This is the story of the real-life Humpty Dumpty, or the man who sat on the most famous of walls, had perhaps the greatest of falls.
Mr. Bob the Builder, tear down this wall.
Because people gotta know whether Bob the Builder's a crook. Well, Bob's a crook.
I did not have diplomatic relations with Bob.
Bob the Builder is the best freaking character in the entire history, okay? It is what it is. That is my favorite character in the history.
When we find ourselves in times of struggle, Karl Marx comes to thee, speaking words of wisdom, let it we. A world-famous lyric sung by Lenin.
Oh my god, do you know what this kind of reminded me of? It reminded me of how people sometimes are doing TikToks or tweets like, oh yeah, when we were younger and then we were having some kind of, you know, like night party with friends when we were 10 or something. We were creating in our imagination the perfect country. And it always used to be a communistic one. And I'm like,
At the height of the Russian Revolution, the song Let It We by the Beatles would have a profound impact on a young journeyman living in the heart of the rapidly industrializing British Empire. Growing up in a small working-class British town in the early 1900s, Bob the Builder was never expected to be anything special. His forklift certification scores were average at best, and his supervisors doubted that he had the aptitude to make foremen. But inside Bob, a spectre was haunting his inner conscience. The spectre of communism. Having been indoctrinated by Marxist-leaning warehouse logistics manuals written by Comrade Squidward, Bob the Builder became a full-blown Red, and in his early 20s he immigrated to Russia to escape political persecution.
That feels like one of the best freaking, like, collaborations in the history, literally.
Now a pilgrim in what the West considered to be an unholy land, Bob had arrived just in time for the 1922 Comic-Con, which would formally establish the Soviet Union. Tragically, shortly after this, Vladimir Lenin would go to the collectivized farm upstate, but he would quickly be succeeded by
For a second, I didn't know if I wanted to say oh no or oh yes or something. Oh my god. Oh my god. Ay, 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 ay. Guys, is it appropriate in English internet to joke about communism or no? I need to ask before I can say anything. Because here, jokes about communism is, well, one of the most common ones, you know? Actually, I think yes. Wait, so you're saying that on the English internet, there's like so many topics I cannot joke about, but I can joke about communism? Yes, comrade. Okay, but like, how? Why? I'm not gonna ask.
Beatles drummer Joseph Stalin as the leader of the Soviet Union. And right off the bat, Stalin started killing everyone. While these political persecutions caused the death of thousands, and many saw them as a reign of terror, to Bob the Builder, who found himself at the bottom of the Soviet political hierarchy, he saw only promotion.
That tastes like promotion!
Through massive construction projects and extreme loyalty, Bobbert would begin his rise. Build it up, build the wall, build it right so there's no recall, break it down, overhaul. Build a bomb, don't make it small, fill some holes, kill some poles, level it out,
No, what? What?
build a bomb, don't make it small, fill some holes, kill some poles.
Poland mentioned, but at what cost? Huh?
Level it out, make it roll. Build a bridge, charge a toll. Hard hat on, burn some coal. Forklifts, tire ruts, car hearts, tighten nuts, Pixar moms, dump trucks. Date your mom, fix the nuts.
What?
Through his work in World War II, securing American supplies and increasing Soviet manufacturing output, his work on the Tsar Mo bomber, and his infamous construction of the Berlin Wall to prevent skilled communist laborers from seeking dental insurance, Bob had established himself as a highly recognizable international figure. His legendary rise from a lowly British journeyman to a leader of the communists in the front lines of the Cold War had made Bob the envy of every Facebook mom in the Western world. But after Stalin's death due to a fried chicken addiction, Bobbert was left without, perhaps, his only friend. When this happened, Bob was heading up the Soviet puppet government in East Berlin. Isolated and far away from the seats of power in Moscow, Bob the Builder was passed up for promotion upon the death of Stalin, and his political enemies were intent on keeping Bob the Builder in Berlin, where he wouldn't be a threat to their power. For this reason, Bob's career was stagnant, and he would go without a promotion for the rest of his life. But keeping Bob away from Moscow seemed insufficient to his political enemies. Comrade Squidward, in particular, wanted Bob's legacy tarnished to preserve himself as the greatest foreign adversary to the West. To orchestrate Bob's downfall, they engineered a catastrophic failure of reactor number 4, the Chernobyl nuclear power plant, in 1986. This was a complex totally designed and built by Bob, and he was held personally responsible for the nuclear disaster in the
Wait. So the squid from SpongeBob sabotaged Bob the Builder to get him out of the power? What a bitch. That is so rude to do. Oh my god, that is so rude. Like, so rude to sabotage your teammate like this. To sabotage your comrade like this. Imagine.
While Bob dealt with the fallout of the scandal, Ronald Reagan made a strike at the Soviet jugular right in the heart of Berlin. Using the Kool-Aid Man to bust down the Berlin Wall, the West had brought down the Iron Curtain right from under the nose of Bob the Builder. This would all but seal Bob's fate. As the East German government collapsed in the aftermath of the fall of the Berlin Wall, Bob pulled aside his KGB assistant, Vladimir Putin, and issued his final order, stating, "Save the republics, if you can." Bob was arrested shortly after the fall of the Berlin Wall and charged by the Soviet political hierarchy with treason. He escaped the death penalty for his crimes by a single vote.
For a second I thought it was Czech flag, and I was like, what the fuck is a Czech flag doing there? But then I looked up, and then I saw it's a tiny bit other color, you know? Me stupid, I'm sorry.
He was then subsequently stripped of his titles and honors, and in early 1990 he was exiled from the country that he loved.
Oh no.
While the Soviet leadership and people became fixated on Bob the Builder and punishing him for his failures, they yet again were unable to see their own. For years, Ronald Reagan had been funneling pairs of fake Jordans to the Soviet Union as part of his drip-down economics policy. The USSR had been purchasing these pairs of Jordans as part of their pair striker economic model, hoping to strike gold by reselling the basketball shoes in the future for premium prices. When the news broke that the shoes were fake, the Soviet Union instantly collapsed due to the massive monetary losses. Bob spent his first 2 years in exile, bouncing around a number of countries who really wanted nothing to do with him. Hated by the former states of the Soviet Union and the West, Bob had nowhere to go. He had attempted to return home to Britain in 1992, but was flat out rejected by the Home Office. In 1993, he was unexpectedly offered asylum by his old adversary, the US and the Clinton administration, who offered him a small shack on the US island territory of Puerto Rico. Bob would spend the remainder of his days here, now an old man, filled with regret, waiting to die alone.
No! Why in the entire story Bob didn't get any partner or something? Why? His only friend passed away, and he didn't get any partner or any more friends. I feel like, you know, Bob should build another wall, like around his house or something, to have something to do in his elderly years, you know? No. Wait, why? No, guys. Why? No. No? Yeah, probably. There's constantly no, and one, yeah. What?
Much of his time would be used to reflect on the past. Bob was under almost constant surveillance by the CIA, who tracked his every move, bugged his home, and controlled all of his visitors, but he never would receive a single one.
Oh no!
Bob passed.
No! Wait, that actually is making me sad. What's going on? Bob!
Away on May 25th, 1999.
Oh no!
He was placed in an unmarked grave, and his death was largely a footnote in history. His last words were rumored to have been, "Ungrateful country, you shall not even possess my tools." It's hard to imagine that the man who coined the phrase, "Can we fix it?" would meet his end in such a way. He had fought for the future and destroyed the invaders, but his name would be lost to the nations, and no generation would honor his name. A shout out to my patrons for your continued support.
Holy shit. I love pure human schizophrenia. I love it. Bro, when I'm looking at this kind of videos, I know that AI can never replace humans, because AI cannot replace this kind of pure human schizophrenia. And I love it. It is what it is. Beautiful. Peak. Absolute cinema. Peak. That's all I can say. I am sad that there is no part 3, but our protagonist died, so it would be kind of hard to do the part 3 of this saga. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. The storytelling, wonderful. Like, edits, beautiful. I love it. I purely love it. Thank you guys for watching this one with me. Thank you.